Greetings and salutations, folks.
No messages for you, Commander.
And welcome back to Mass Effect 2, where I was pretty sure there were messages. She clearly lied to me. From Shaman Erdnot. For some reason I thought it was Shaman for a second. I guess that would be the Irish version of that. Damn it, I hate these things, but you need to hear this. You're part of Grunt's Krat, and you're his leader. So keep him alive. Here, I have to stay polite, play the role. But our people are dying. Krogan have always valued survival over tradition. If we're going to survive as a people, we need your vat-grown Grunt. Okir was a madman, but he was a madman with a plan. And that's more than most have on this ball of a rock. So bring him back from your damn mission. My people need him. And if you all get killed, I'll piss on your graves. Why, thank you, Shaman Erdnot, for those kind messages. I might as well have just assumed there were,
How may I help you, Commander?
Is there anything I should know?
There were no messages, like Kelly said.
Anything else, Commander?
That'll be all.
Good luck out there, Shepard.
Also, I think it's been a little while since I've checked in on Joker. There's been a few missions, so let's see if Joker has anything to say, possibly about his status on EDI.
Commander.
I assume everything's going well up here?
Quiet enough. What the...
Trouble?
No, it's nothing. Son of a... Very funny, Edie. Real original. Stop it.
You did insist on manual control, Mr. Moreau.
So, things are going...
That's it for now.
See you, Commander.
as well as could be expected. Alright, for our next mission, we might as well complete out the available loyalty missions that are available. And help out Jacob, who apparently has found the wreckage, or a distress signal, pointing to his father, I believe. I forget exactly what his loyalty mission is about, because it's been a little while since I've actually picked it up. But I'm sure he's going to remind me at the beginning of the mission. Headshots can kill Max. Imagine that. Let's take a look at Morden's alternate costume. Slightly different. But we're going to bring along Team Cerberus as our squad. It's been a while since I've used him, so... Your levitational abilities keep the target suspended for longer. Affects all nearby targets. That seems more entertaining. You know, I just realized, in the previous mission, after leaving Tachanka, Morden's like, let's go someplace sunny. And lo and behold... I mean, Morden's not with us, he's on the ship. But I'm someplace sunny.
I have run a scan of the ship. I detect no life signs, but there may be useful technology or information still inside.
So that's one out of... That's close enough. I can tell him about the sun that I saw. Also... let's remind ourselves what's going on. 10 years ago, Jacob's father disappeared along with the Hugo Gernsback, the privately held frigate on which he served as first officer. Last week, the ship's beacon sent out a distress call reporting a crash. So, basically the plot of Event Horizon, but probably without the spookiness.
Along with us anymore. We've done horrible things to the crew. The conditions they're in, they don't understand what we're doing to them. Distract them for 2 seconds and they forget what you did before the bruises show. It's got to stop. I'm talking to the others as soon as...
Or maybe with the spookiness? It's
Toxology alert. Danger of rapid neural decay. Local flora chemically incompatible with human physiology. Override. Beacon resumed. Pause time 8 years, 237 days, 7 hours.
From the look of it, this beacon's been here a while. Why would they wait years to signal?
Pause in beacon protocol. 8 years, 237 days, 7 hours. Pause is recorded as record deleted by acting captain Ronald Taylor.
That's not right. My father was first officer.
Ronald Taylor was promoted under emergency command protocols. Other flagged issues: unsafe deceleration, local food and neural decay.
okay.
Activation protocols.
What kind of
Local food impairs brain functions? What are the effects?
yeah, what kind of
Impairment mental
what's going on
function
over
due
here?
to chemical imbalance begins within 7 days of ingesting local
Okay, so it's actually less
regardless of
event horizon
decontamination or
and
preparation.
more
Impact on higher cognitive abilities
the
and
horror.
long-term memory is cumulative, but significant within a standard month. It is not known if neural decay is permanent. Data collection was not completed.
Which isn't a bad show. It just like it starts off really strong and it ends really strong, but the middle is drags for quite a while. But essentially is about if you haven't heard of the TV show The Horror, the first season is about this boat that goes off north into the Arctic and more or less disappears, and the people there go crazy eating like lead poisoned food.
Who is in command of this ship? Where are the survivors?
But there's
Captain
also
Harris
other
had
stuff going on,
reported
so.
killed following unscheduled suborbital descent. First Officer Ronald Taylor promoted in-field to acting captain.
But where is he now?
The location of the remaining crew of the Hugo Gernsback is unknown. This beacon has been unattended for several maintenance cycles.
Does the beacon know the last place they were? Because that would be a start.
I assume unsafe deceleration refers to the crash. Give me the details.
Following an unspecified impact and sublight drive failure, the Hugo Gernsback made an unscheduled descent at 465% of theoretical recommended suborbital velocity. The Hugo Gernsback then decelerated at 782% of theoretical recommended approach velocity, sustaining significant damage to investment and crew.
So it crashed. Got it.
Why wasn't the beacon activated before now?
This emergency beacon became functional after 358 days, 12 hours. Following the unscheduled suborbital descent of the Hugo Gernsback, activation was triggered remotely after 8 years, 237 days, 7 hours, on the authority of Acting Captain Ronald Taylor. Pause in beacon protocol is recorded as record deleted.
Come on, let's get going.
Let's check the ship. My father had the beacon for almost 9 years. Maybe that neural decay affected him.
Avoiding decade seems unlikely.
I made a smart choice in that one. Team Cerberus actually speaks to each other.
You came from the sky? The leader said someone would come. He delayed for so long, but he still has power. Some have lost faith. The hunters. They will have seen your star. They will not let you help him.
I don't think this person remembers even having a rank.
Who are you? What was your rank on the Gernsback?
I can't think. The leader thinks for us and we serve. So we can go home. But some want to fight him. They were cast out. He exiled them. So they hunt his machines and those who help him. They don't believe that rescue will come.
Watch out!
Hunters, they won't stop until the leader is dead.
Kill them! Agents of the liar! He will not escape!
They see you, Shepard.
Who's he? Are they talking about Jacob in that case? Because he's the only... Or are they talking about Jacob's dad? Like they think... You know, they probably should have... They probably should have worn some degree of armor.
Taking fire.
Oh, hello. I don't know where you came from, sir, but
Night night.
either that was an incredible job flanking me, or a terrible job taking advantage of it.
I've got him!
That wasn't neural decay. They were feral.
My father wouldn't let this go on. Something is very wrong.
Okay, so there's that and that away. For some reason, I thought that going into the ship would be the best choice, but apparently that is not the way forward. So I'm going to turn around and try to go into the ship, because clearly that means I'm going to be turned around again. Okay. Seems like things didn't go so well mentally even in the beginning, when they seemed to have some sense of what was going on.
What was her name? Sarah? Suzanne? My God, I can't remember. I can't remember her face. We need to get out, so I can remember, can think straight. They have to hurry.
And this PDA happened to have money in it. There we go. And, okay. It's a good thing their money is still valid, even though they've lost contact with the rest of the of civilization.
Captain Fairchild knew this crew. His replacement doesn't command the same level of respect. I'm hoping the man has it in him.
All right. Okay, so a little bit of the horror, a little bit of Lord of the Flies going on. Civilization has decayed upon itself. Do you got anything else to say?
You killed them, but there are more every day. They want to fight, but I just want to go home.
Well, there has to be a limit to the amount of people. Like, there was only so many people who were on. The Hugo Gernsback. So, at the very least, there can't be more. Although I suppose you can say there are more feral hunters every day. And in theory, that she'll eventually become like them.
Tech's wearing out. Those hunters must be landing. Is that a settlement? They better be friendlier than the beach group. I need answers.
We all need answers. Although that's the question. If Ronald Taylor doesn't represent the hunters,
Uniform remnants as those who attacked us.
except they're all female.
There aren't any men here. Maybe it affects genders differently. Makes males get violent.
Possibly. But the woman on the beach said the exiled ones came back as hunters.
It doesn't matter right now. One of these people must know what my father has to do with this.
You have his face. He promised to call the sky, but he sends nothing.
He forced us to eat, to decay. You are cursed with his face.
No, that's not a very good sign at all.
Not the best reaction to the family resemblance, Jacob.
Why would my father force his crew to eat toxic food? What's happening here needs to stop.
That seems to be a thing that goes around.
Go away. You are like him. You will keep us here.
Yeah, at least they have some medkits, which I just robbed.
Somebody had to push them to make that. That's borderline worship.
But what does it represent?
Subdue and suppress. Your captain demands immediate. Weapons are forbidden.
Nope, hello. How are you?
Come on!
Trolls like that are a little much against this bunch.
Definitely.
Hate him. Maybe it was just for defense.
Okay, so we've got the feral hunters who are trying to protect their camp. We've got Roland Taylor, who was the acting captain.
Here, you could end it.
But I believe that he's essentially surrounded himself with robots, and the only reason why he reactivated the transmitter was because his rule has crumbled.
You have his face, but you fight his machines. You might stop this. This, I forget.
You
how to
might
read.
yet stop this.
Was the start. What he promised, and what they did to us. We need the sky. Take us back to the sky.
Jacob, what does it say?
It's a crew logbook. Some of them thought the beacon repair was taking too long. They were afraid they'd run out of supplies and lose their minds to the decay. My father restricted the ship food for himself and the other officers so they wouldn't be affected. Everybody else had to eat the toxic food and hope for treatment later. The rest is a casualty list. A few mutinied over the decision. My father and his officers turned the mechs on them.
That definitely... Okay. Is that harsh but defendable? Like, you could possibly defend it on the idea that, the actual repair of the distress beacon was problematic. But how do you choose the officers over the enlisted men? You essentially force the decision based on rank, not on actual utility. Like, it's a tough call. But, like, let's say you really couldn't repair the beacon, and it really did need a long time to get repaired, and it wasn't for any other reason. You could possibly defend that decision upon that reasoning. Sounds like he cracked, maybe. That definitely doesn't explain the last 10 years.
After a year, so the plan must have worked. Why no signal?
Those weren't the last entries on the casualty list. More incidents, harsh punishments. It's like they're cattle or toys. In a year, all the male crew members are flagged as exiled or dead. They separated out the women, assigned them to officers like pets. And after the beacon is fixed, the officers appear in the casualties too. After. My father took control and didn't stop it.
Anything in there about whether the effects of the toxic food can be treated?
Nothing. But it seems like the right call. If everyone gets it, who's left to fix the beacon? You'd never get out. But they did fix it. And the signal wasn't sent until now. I'm starting to see why.
Does it say why he separated the men and women? Or is it as bad as it seems?
No, it turns to gibberish. Maybe the men got violent early on, but from the state of this place, I'd say the Hunter thing is recent. What he allowed here, Shepard?
Also, who built the icon is another question.
We haven't seen any other officers. He killed them?
There were 5 after the crash. Medical, engineering, bridge staff. Should have had no problem fixing the beacon and keeping people safe. All killed within the same week. About a month after the beacon was repaired.
Do you see an explanation for this? He's your father.
Is he? None of this fits. Maybe the initial decision, but the rest? Abuse of power doesn't get any clearer than this. I need to find
Okay,
this man.
so if so like I said, the choosing people based on their status as an officer versus their utility, if in theory they would have been perfectly fine in repairing the beacon, so they essentially would have maintained utility. But you know, I really don't remember this mission at all. That's kind of a refrain for this entire game, I think. Oh, hello. Like, I think I played Mass Effect 1.
God damn it, it's really him. Just got free, he's covering his ass.
Like, Mass Effect 1 I've played the most times. Mass Effect 2 I might have played, like, twice? And then I think Mass Effect 3 I've also played twice.
The hunters started fighting back.
And that's the thing, like, if Ronald is still leading the mechs, like, is he still leading the mechs? Did he turn them? Well, he turned them on and then used them to kill off the other officers. But does he still want to present the idea that he's not the one in control? Oh, hello.
This should come in handy.
Heavy pistol damage. There are a lot of these mechs, and I think this is one of those things that Mass Effect 3 fixes more. Like, I don't give Mass Effect 3 credit for this, like, because of how its combat is based on, like, specific types of units. Like, the way that the Mass Effect 3 combat is based on feels like it's formulated around the multiplayer more so than anything else, because you fight different species of units, and each species has their own types, and there's some interchangeable types in between one group to the next. Like, there's the Rachni, the Geth, the Reapers, and they all have specific types of units that go into combat, like the heavy unit, the lighter unit. It's been a while, so I don't have anything specifics, but more than just guy with gun, or guy with gun and shields, or... Now, mechs don't seem to take cover. That seems to be, like, the main difference. But otherwise, they're basically just guy with gun. There's a lot of diversity between who's shooting at you. But largely, like, there's a lot of diversity in the types of enemies you fight in this game, but largely they're just guy with gun. Even the Harbinger is just bigger guy with a gun. Oh, hello. Nope. Alright, so what am I good at? Thank you for just standing there. Alright, let's knock out your shield.
Disabling the mech.
Damn it!
There we go. Oh no, Jacob, you were never able to complete out your your loyalty mission. If only there was something I could do for you. And then he looks his father in the eye, and his father justifies this, and he's like, "Yeah, I guess that's all right." And then they both go home and have a beer. That's exactly what's going to happen. There's going to be no gray areas, nothing complicated about it at all. Just a big old family reunion. Well, hello, sir.
You're here. I knew a real squad would blow through just fine. Sorry if the mech scuffed your pads. I'll get you something nice when we get back to Alliance space. I've gotta have some back pay coming.
What about your crew, acting captain?
Total loss. The toxic food turned them wild. They propped me up here in some kind of ritual behavior. Waiting for a chance to signal has been hell.
So his explanation is
Who are you exactly?
So his explanation for it is basically like they idolized him and more or less entrapped him in this position of idolization.
Commander Shepard of the Normandy. I believe you are acquainted with Mr. Taylor.
Taylor? Jacob? No. Not Jacob.
Why not me? Would 10 years of this look better to anyone else in the galaxy?
You have to understand, this isn't me. The realities of command, they change you. I wasn't ready for that. I made sure you were taught right. Before I left, I'd hoped to leave it at that.
Okay, so he's already backpedaling on his statement a little bit. Like, I was entrapped in this position, and I wasn't ready.
I'm not unreasonable, Captain, but 10 years? What happened?
God damn it! Why did you do this to your crew?
There was resistance to the plan. Mutiny. We had to take a hard line to keep order. And things settled down. As the decay set in, we made sure the crew were comfortable. Some even seemed happier. Ignorance is bliss, right? And they were grateful for guidance, like an instinct. Pure authority was easy, at first. Months in, the effect lowered inhibitions. They got territorial. Rank, protocol, they couldn't understand. We had to establish dominance. After a while, the perks seemed normal.
That's it? You created a harem and played king? 10 years in a juvenile fantasy?
Again, like, why didn't you turn on the beacon?
Wrong. But when the beacon was ready, revealing what happened didn't seem like a good idea.
So maintaining the illusion that things are okay is a better idea?
What happened to the other officers?
Anders found his conscience a little late to step back. He had an accident. Things got tense. End of the day, I was the one with the mechs. I got a little basic in setting examples.
He had an accident. He accidentally fell on the other side of my mechs.
Like I'd earned some peace.
You fought over people like they were toys. Things.
The stores from the ship couldn't last forever. You had to know this would end one day.
Dining for one can really stretch things out. Besides, I can think of a lot worse retirement plans than stripping down and joining the Droolers. That was before the Hunters, of course. Dumb or not, I'd feel it if they got their hands on me now. They want blood.
So he was fine to actually live out his fantasy, except now the neurological decay is actually making it problematic. So yeah, he's definitely the villain
You
here.
didn't feel any responsibility to get out of here for the sake of family?
I gave him a good start. He was a smart kid and was better off not following me. We figured that out a long time before I took jobs in deep space. And after things escalated here, it seemed best to just disappear off the galactic map.
Till you needed someone to save your ass.
What triggered the males to change and threaten you?
This planet has some strange cycles to it. I've seen some plants around I never saw before. Odd weather. Maybe some just adapted a little too well.
And if you treat them like animals,
So he has no idea.
they become animals.
We can help these people. Cerberus can have ships here in days and pull everyone out.
He's not worth the fuel to haul him out or the air he's breathing. He's damn lucky I don't think he's even worth pulling the trigger. I don't know who you are, because you're not any father I remember.
I'd shoot him. He can't escape the
Secure
law
him from
now.
Alliance Court. For every year here, he'll have 10 to think about it.
Give him all the time in the galaxy. The man who did this doesn't know right from wrong.
I'm sorry, Jacob. I did the best I could.
I'm 10 years past believing that.
That wasn't quite good enough. As you failed your crew, your officers, and that's I think the biggest deal with that is, like, even if he could rationalize the idea of, like, we don't want to expose ourselves to the rest of the galaxy, like, his number one duty is to save the lives of his crew as a captain. As a captain of this ship, it is his duty to save his crew. Why did he fail his crew? Survivors from Aya are being treated by Alliance personnel with additional Cerberus support. Pleased to see Taylor unharmed psychologically by experience. Jacob Taylor has dealt with his father and is now focused solely on the mission. And he's got a new power, creates a shield, and a new outfit.
Alliance ships are inbound to secure Captain Taylor and his crew, Commander. We'll be long gone by the time they get here.
Don't even give them the tail lights.
Roger that.
Why is my room so dark?
What do you mean it wasn't you?
Jacob, if I had leaked the information about the Gernsback, I would be smiling at your resolution of the situation. I am not smiling.
I never smile. But you knew about the...
Nothing goes through this ship, my ship, without a report to you.
I had no more reason to believe Jacob's father was alive than he did. But I'm happy to know the situation is behind you.
Fine, you didn't forward it, so who did?
I did.
Dun dun dun!
Figures. Who else could get into Cerberus channels?
It was hardly classified, just obscure. There was a time when it mattered.
Obscure.
Sending this along seemed like keeping an old promise. I keep my promises.
Miranda, we'll discuss your liberal interpretation of security protocol in private. Shepard, Jacob.
I just realized that Miranda only had one line that entire mission.
You good with this, Jacob?
It's all bull, Shepard. Captain Taylor can rot in prison. Doesn't change who I am or what I know. I've already mourned the man he used to be. I guess he was a good enough father that even he can't screw up what he taught me.
You had no idea Miranda was behind this.
No, she's got a good memory. Selective, but good. I haven't thought about those days in a long time. Can't figure which promise she meant, though. Not sure I really want to know. She requires a better man than I.
Come on, we got work to do.
Aye, Commander. Shepard. Thanks for the help.
No problem.
Anytime, Jacob.
Okay, so now that the main loyalty missions, or should I say the loyalty missions that I have unlocked are done, now I've just got to recruit the rest of the personnel,
Commander, you've received a new message.
do their loyalty missions, and also complete the last side missions before I can move on and tackle the last collector mission before I am on a timer.
Dear human, the clan leader told me how to get in touch with you. I don't remember much of what happened, but the chief scout said you pulled my quad out of the fire when I got caught and poisoned over at the Weirlock camp. Thanks. Next time I have a chance to kill a human, I won't, unless I go into a blood rage or something. Then I will. That human will be so dead. But I'll still try my best. I got to go to the female camp after I recovered, and it was pretty good. I was actually thinking of joining the Blood Pack before this happened. I think I'm going to stay here instead. Erdnok Dar. Scout, 2nd class.
Why, thank you, not Darg. We shall be pen pals. No, we won't. I mean, I'll say that, and then I'll message him a couple times. He'll message me a couple times, but we'll both go on our way. Thank you for watching. Questions, comments, recommendations for something to play next? Comment down below or send it on over to itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. That's itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. So long for now.